Happy holidays, everyone. Thank you so much. This is Father Son Galaxy. I'm Kerwin. This is Keith. I hope you're having a great holiday. We wish everyone, a safe and happy new year. We know that we're a couple of days away from 2025. So, all right. This, we're here to, first of all, we're going to talk about Skeleton Crew. But what I want to say first is I want to say happy birthday to Keith. All right. He just turned 13. So wonderful. Congratulations. Happy birthday once again.
Thanks, Dad.
How do you feel?
The same.
The same? Do you feel older, more mature, wiser?
No.
Okay. All right. Good. Fair enough. All right.
Do you?
Every day I feel a little bit older. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, just wanted to wish you a happy birthday. Very proud of, who you are and what you're accomplishing. And, you have a big, big future ahead of you. So
thanks, Dad.
All right. Thank you. Okay. All right. So we are here to talk about Skeleton Crew. So we've actually been a week behind. So we are going to cover episodes 4 and 5. Okay. Now, I am really enjoying this show. I like how they're developing the characters of not just the adults, but the kids. So when we're talking about episode 4, this is really Neel's episode because we saw a lot in regards to what bravery means to him, and him being this warrior, quote unquote, and this courage that he has to gain in order to get himself out of the situation that we're going to be discussing shortly. And then Fern, it's not easy being a leader, right? You can't just say, hey, I'm the captain. And the captain has to make some very serious decisions, sometimes life-threatening decisions and putting lives in danger. So she is actually going to experience that in this episode as well. So let's get into it, right? All right. So we're going not to At Attin. I don't know if these kids are going to get back to At Attin anytime soon, maybe in the last episode, but we're close. We're heading to a planet called At Achrann.
Yeah, because of course there's still 4 episodes left at this point.
That's right.
So the kids can't be home yet. We got to put them in more danger.
That's exactly right. So there are planets out there. So At Attin is not on the list at the moment. So they're at this place called At Achrann. Apparently, I don't remember if there were 7 planets that are very similar to At Attin. 5 or 7, I don't remember. At Achrann is one of them. They start with At. So apparently the landscape of these planets are exactly the same, as if they were actually created maybe at the same time, the same landscaping. I don't know how, but when they land on the planet, it looks like their home planet At Attin, but it's desolate. It's like war torn, And I thought immediately, I actually felt like I thought I was when he said that maybe they slept for 100 years and they're like hundreds of years in the future. That's what I thought. I thought maybe they, went into hyperspace and went 100 years. And
imagine if hyperspace worked like that.
Yeah, but it's not. So.
Thankfully.
Yeah. So
we don't have to deal with the time travel plot in Star Wars.
I can't blame Wynn for thinking that way because he's into science fiction. So, all right. So they're on this planet again. It's war torn. They see this leader, and we assume it's the leader of At Achrann, but the bust, the head of the statue, is gone. All right. So we don't know who the leader is, who he was. No idea, no clue.
I don't know. You think it might be the same person as the leader of At Attin?
I think so. I think, well, okay.
They're all ruled by the same guy?
I think maybe the founder, of these planets might have been the same person. I don't know. Or maybe they, each planet assigned for lack of a better term, a president or someone to oversee the planet.
And they
created a statue. Although I don't recall seeing a statue on At Attin. And the kids didn't refer, they were going around to different places. They say, oh, this looks like so-and-so here from our home planet. This looks like so-and-so. And then this is here and the tower is here. But they never said anything about the statue and said, oh, this is similar to the statue that we have on our planet. So maybe they don't have this statue. So to answer your question, we have no idea who this person is. The head is gone. Another mystery. I don't know. So they get stopped by this person, a young teen. Her name is Haina. She asked, "What flag do you fly?" So all in all, this is about the kids living through a civil war because they have no idea about war. They're living in this bubble, this beautiful suburban planet. All they know is school. And then when you go to school, you learn to become an analyst, and then you're an analyst and you work for the government or you work for the supervisor. Nothing in regards to battle or war. They're really out of their league, right? So Haina is part of a Troik team fighting against the Hattan. So the Hattan is another a faction or whatever. So apparently the two of them, the Troik and the Hattan, are enemies. The Hattan actually took these animals called the Yopis from them. Just stole their animals. So I guess it's their livestock. So maybe this is how they,
That's a funny thing to do to somebody.
Survival. What, to take the livestock?
Yeah, just to take their animals.
Well, yeah, apparently they're of value. So maybe they were taking the animals to sell them for credits. Who knows?
I should start doing that.
You're gonna find animals and just take them.
Yeah, I'm gonna find animals, give them to people, and then take them 2 weeks later.
You're gonna give somebody an animal. They're gonna pay you for it. You're gonna go back and steal that animal from that person and then pass it on to somebody else.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a racket. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, by the way, that's not true. Keith is not going to do that.
I would never scam somebody out of their money. I'm just such a good person. I'm so charitable.
Exactly right. Yeah, that would never happen. So now let's talk about. All right, let's continue to talk about Haina. So she seems to me a little over the top. When you meet her, she has this accent, which I really couldn't tell.
She was doing useless slides.
Yeah, she was
like she,
yeah.
So she was sliding down a bus, I think.
Yeah.
And the time it took her to do that slide, she could have already been to the other side. It wasn't an incline; it was a slant. It was less than a 45-degree angle. She could have walked.
Yeah, she seems a little overprepared for some reason. But what was funny about it was Wim was like, whoa, he was excited. He just wants action.
He was excited by somebody just sliding.
She
thought she was a Winter Soldier.
Yeah, it just looked cool to him. And, he's just looking for excitement, anything to get him motivated. So she's sliding and she's flipping and he's like, whoa. Yeah. Maybe he thought that she's a Jedi.
Yeah,
that's probably what he was thinking.
Speaking of the Winter Soldier, do you think he rebrands for the other seasons?
I don't know what that means. What do you mean by rebrand?
He's a Winter Soldier. So do you think in the summer he becomes a Summer Soldier?
I don't think so. Well, he's no longer. We don't refer to him as a Winter Soldier much, right? It's just Bucky.
Yeah. I guess.
Yeah, let's call him Bucky. Okay.
But if he was still the Winter Soldier, do you think he would turn into the Summer Soldier during the summer?
No. Okay. Anyway,
that'd be funny. I'm gonna.
So you like to take these side streets and you somehow end up in Marvel when we're talking about Star Wars. So let's get back to Star Wars.
Yeah, because I love Marvel.
I know that. Yeah, but there'll be time for us to talk about Marvel. Okay. So all right. So the acrobatics, Haina, she's great. She's person. Gifted. So apparently her, I've never seen this actress before, but her name is Hala Finley. So now they come to this building that apparently was a school. I don't know how the kids know that that building.
The power of plot.
Yeah, maybe it is. But so it used to be a school. Now it's a home base for the Troiks, and they go in there and they meet her father, Haina's father, who is actually a general. I guess he's the leader of this army. Yes, so they refer to him as the one true leader of At Attin. Okay. All right.
Okay, cool. You're laying on a little thick there, aren't you?
Right. Yeah. Nice. Okay. All right. So General Strix is his name. He's a French actor. He is giving the impression that, okay, he will accept anybody into his army. Doesn't matter if they're children, adults, they're all going to be treated the same.
He's
So
kind of a bad person for that.
Well, I don't know if he's a bad person.
He's like, hiya, kids. We're going to draft you into the army and put you on the front line so you can get shot first.
Right. Yeah. So it's culture.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, but see,
what an honorable culture.
Well, that's their culture, like they're there to fight. If you
Yes, but their culture is sacrificing children into the war.
Yeah. Well,
like, could you imagine if that was a thing humans did? Just find random children at their house and say, "Hey, I'm gonna draft you into the military."
Yeah. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but it's just that that's what he's used to. They're fighting. This is a war. This is a battle going on. So he needs all of the soldiers or weapons that he can get to fight this battle.
Peculiar, but
right.
Okay.
So yes, so he is happy. These 4 kids have showed up out of the blue, and he recruits them to fight. And not only, like you said,
he saw them and he's like, "More cannon fodder!
Yes,
bring out the fine china! Alert the village elders!"
Yes. He is willing to sacrifice these kids' lives. Okay, so he puts them on the front line. And, it's kind of like you've seen this before, like in The Mandalorian, where you have these townspeople come in and, there's a war going on and, somebody has to, protect some type of territory. So they have these people who have never fired guns before or blasters start to train them, and it was a fast training. Like, first of all, it's unrealistic, right? To try to pick up a weapon and use it the right way,
especially kids.
Yeah,
like that training montage that should have took multiple weeks took like a day.
Yeah,
it's just like, oh, I can't lift this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this is easy.
Yeah, it felt like it just took hours for them to pick up a weapon and use it. But
which is interesting. You would think you need a lot more training to even aim properly, let alone know how to use it.
Yes, right. Well, anyway, so that's what the story called for. So these kids, go into battle and they're carrying their weapons. But Neel, as we know, that's not his style. That's not who he is.
He's a bit afraid.
No, he knows nothing about war. He's never witnessed it. He only knows peace. Again, he's living in this bubble at Attin. What is there to fight about? Everybody loves each other. Everybody gets along. The kids are going to great schools.
But like, hey,
well, I think they're
doing their best.
So he is a humble person who has a giving heart. So he's not willing to fight. He doesn't want to fight. So once Hannah explains to him the reason for the battle, Neel felt sorry for her, and I'm sorry that this is the way things are, but the Troik, not only are they fighting, for their livestock, but they're fighting for food, right? They fight, to get food. They're fighting to protect their friends. So they have to be a strong clan. It is sad. Yeah.
That did not make me feel good inside.
Yeah, exactly. And remember when they were serving food to Neel, and he understood that these people are struggling just to put food on the table.
He saw some kids and he gave them the food.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm starting to see a connection between Disney, Star Wars, and putting kids in danger. Like, first it was The Last Jedi, then it was The Bad Batch, and now it's this.
Yeah.
I'm starting to get concerned for the writer's room here.
No. Keith, come on. No, seriously, I know you're joking, but you read Adventures in Wild Space.
Yes.
Right? Weren't there kids in danger?
Yes, that's still a problem.
Well, was it exciting?
Yeah.
Exactly. There you go. That's why kids are in danger. Because you get the impression that, they are not, they're only going to be so much in danger. They're not going to lose their lives.
This is why I don't tell jokes.
It makes you feel like something's going to happen to these kids, but it doesn't. But that's the stakes. Right? Yeah, that's what we want.
You can kind of tell they'll be all right because they're children and it's Star Wars. Yeah. And Star Wars is owned by Disney, and I don't think Disney is going to be, throwing kids into pits of lava here.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, they can only go so far. And thank you so much for Carol. Greetings from Ecuador. Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you. That's beautiful. And happy holidays to you. All right, Ecuador. Nice. Yeah. So these kids, we want to see them in danger, but we know they're going to get out of it. Okay. but it just makes for good storytelling, makes it exciting. All right, so Neel, confesses to Hannah, you know, I'm not a fighter. I'm scared. I can't do this, and she um, respects that, because that's his culture. His culture is about peace. Hers is about war,
Yeah.
and the two of them have this connection. You know what I mean? Like you know, Neel is being himself. She is being who she's trained to be. The life that she lives. But anyway, Dad doesn't want to hear that, so he's got them on the front line. And this is my favorite part of the episode. Actually, this is when Neel, they're marching forward. They're in the front line. They're marching forward, and he is talking to himself. He's saying, and this is great. I mean, he's saying what he's thinking, so that we know.
Because they're kids, you have an excuse to make them state the obvious.
Yes.
Because they're children.
Yes. And he admits that he is scared. And he doesn't know how this is going to play out. He says, this isn't right. I'm not just saying this because I'm scared. I am scared. The really brave thing would be to just make peace already. So I thought that was really good acting by that young actor, Robert Smith. Wonderful writing. What I enjoy the most about this show is their writing. The writing that they're doing sounds like something that's coming from a kid's voice or kid's point of view. They don't make the kids sound like adults. Like you can tell, okay, well, this is written by an adult because kids don't talk this way. No, they found a way to actually speak like children of their age. So that makes it feel genuine, in my opinion. I don't know if you felt
I like the writing on the show. It's good.
Yeah. Okay. So now
you can tell they hired great people to do what they did in this show.
That's exactly what we want, right? We want great people. We want, talent in front, behind the camera. That's what we want. Why not? If we're going to spend 30, 40 minutes watching this episode, yeah. All right. So we haven't talked about Jod yet. Okay.
Oh boy.
Let's talk about this dude, man. So he, we're going to talk more about him in episode 5, which was a fantastic episode when we get to it. But he is still not to be trusted. I think he is still looking for a payday. I don't know if you feel the same way. But so when they land on the planet at Achrann, the kids say, well, we don't want you coming with us. We're going to go at it alone. You stay on the ship. And they tell, and it was Fern who tells SM33, watch him. And then SM sets in the babysitter mode. And it's like, come on, baby. Come on, baby. That was pretty funny. All right, so
I like this droid. If they could just fix him.
Yeah, I mean, he's a little, he's a little been through a lot.
He's trying his best.
Yes. One day he's nice to you. One day he wants to kill you. That's all right. So you just don't know what
normal droid behavior.
You don't know what day it's going to be for SM33. So anyway, so Jod is back on the ship, and he realizes that SM33 sent them to the wrong planet. Mm-hmm. And he says, well, I thought we were going to At Attin. And then the droid says, can't say I remember no At Attin.
I'm sick of hearing that.
Yeah. So
I think he said it like 6 times over the course of the show. So far.
I want to talk about this maybe after we discuss episode 5.
Or talk about it now before you forget.
Well, okay. So do you think this is intentional? Like SM, he seems like he's hiding something. Like he doesn't want the kids to get back to At Attin. And he's sending them on this wild goose chase. That's what I'm thinking. Because, like, how can you get At Achrann and At Attin confused? You know what I mean? You're a computer.
Yeah, they don't sound the same.
Right.
Like, they sound the same to us.
Yeah.
But letter-wise, they're not very similar other than, like, the first 3 letters.
Right. So,
as a computer, that's hard to get wrong.
Yeah. Because he's a computer, he's probably programmed to not show the kids or not tell the kids where At Attin is located because someone programmed him to say, I can't say I remember no At Attin. So that's intentional to me, which is very annoying, but somebody is controlling him. So, we'll talk about that a little bit more. So Jod is on the ship and he's trying to jog SM33's memory. and they get down to the landing platform, and they're surrounded by the Hattan warriors, right? So, and of course, remember, they're the ones who are the enemy to the Troik. Um, and then, Jah just gets on his knees and says, "Okay, kill me already." So he just surrendered quickly. But anyway, so let's just put a pin in that. So now back to the kids, and they're moving on the front line, and they're getting closer and closer. They think on the other side of the battle line are the enemy, and it turns out it's Jod. And Jod comes back with the Eopes, the ones that were stolen by the Hattans.
Yeah.
All right. So we just made peace. I guess, the battle is over, at least for that day right now. So, everybody's happy. The animals are back to where they're supposed to be. And then we find out that Jod apparently made some type of deal with the Hattans.
Yeah.
To give them credits.
So what he did was he robbed Wim. This poor kid is just getting robbed by Jod over and over again. Stole his credits,
right,
and then paid the Hattans to get the Eopes back.
Yeah.
And they gave them to these people, which I don't know how to feel about that, because he did rob a child, but on the second hand, he did save many people's lives.
Okay.
And gave them their livestock back.
Well, let me tell you this. I don't think he gave up those credits. If I know Jod,
and you don't,
well, I like I said, I don't trust him. He is a pirate, and I think what he did was somehow he and SM-33 might have killed those Hattans. I know there are a lot of them. It's probably impossible to do so, but when you're a Jedi, if he claims he's a Jedi, he can do. He has the strength of thousands of men, ordinary men. So he can take out these Hattans. So that's what I think happened. He destroyed them along with SM-33. SM-33 also helped and, took the lives of these warriors and kept the credits for himself. So I don't think he ever gave up the credits. I think he still has them. He still has Wynn's credits.
That would be funny, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and it's going to, and I think that we'll see it in a future episode that, he never gave up those credits because that's what he wants, right? He wants the treasures.
Why would he just money?
Right, and he doesn't care for the kids that much. You know what I mean? So, but I don't know. I don't think he gave up that money for the EOPs.
Yeah. Jod's murderous tendencies are probably going to show up later, though.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Again, he's a pirate. He's a bad dude. So, all right. So looks like war is over, at least for now. Jod and Hana say goodbye to each other. So now they go.
Neel.
I'm sorry, Neel, right, and Jaina say goodbye to each other, not Jod. All right. So now they find this supervisor tower. We keep hearing about this supervisor person. Don't know who it is, what the supervisor looks like, but apparently every planet, the At planets have a supervisor tower.
Goofy At series.
Right. So they go to the tower, they take it right up to the top, and apparently there's stone walls with the coordinates to every single planet in that system of planets, the At planets. So we got At A2, I guess, At A2, At Arissa, At Aravan, At Akoda. But At Attin, no coordinates. Gone, right?
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
Of course.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, they just got ripped straight out the roll.
So apparently SM-33 was told, once again, he was programmed to destroy the coordinates to At Attin because his last captain, whoever his captain was, told him to. All right. So now the kids are angry. Fern orders. Well, this is where Fern snapped, because, she, wants to get home and, she says, well, give me the coordinates at Attin. And, he keeps repeating, well, I can't say I remember no At Attin. And, she loses it and walks away and, she's, in tears, and it was a very nice scene with her and Wynn. She says, I'm not cut out to be a leader. Maybe you should have been the leader. And he says, well, you got us this far. and she says, well, well, what am I going to do now? Like, I'm not a droid, I can't just do what people tell me to do. And then the light bulb comes on,
Yeah.
right?
Now that I think about it,
Yeah.
I don't think either of them should have been the leader. It should have been KB because she seems to be the only one who has like common sense.
That's true.
Like, she's the one who told Wim not to touch things. She's the one who tells people to slow down and think things through. And she's also the one who has all the cool attachments and stuff.
Yeah.
Really marketable accessories.
Yeah, that's a very good point. I am interested to see KB, what exactly she can do. Like we haven't really had a KB-centered episode.
That's probably next.
Yeah. Or it might be the last episode. I don't know. But something about her is, she's very special. They're all special, but something about her, I'm excited to see what she can do.
Why are you calling them special?
They are special. The kids are special. Not that, I'm talking about special. Like they have, special. Oh boy. Okay. This is 13, huh? All right. Okay. So Fern runs to SM and says, remember everything you know about At Attin. And then he confesses that the captain asked to kill any of his crew that saw the coordinates to At Attin. He destroyed his crew and forgot everything that he needed to know. And that's what the captain told him to do. And now he says when SM, when Fern comes to SM again to ask for the coordinates, and then he also says, well, anyone who asks for the coordinates must be killed and be torn limb from limb. And he starts to go after 3 of the kids. And then we have Neel, who distracts him and says, hey, leave them alone. And so SM is coming right towards them. And Jod, quick thinking, just comes up from behind SM and switches him off and saves Neel's life.
I don't know why he did that.
I don't know. I think this is all part of his plan to keep these kids alive until he's ready to get rid of them, which we'll talk about more in episode 4. But yeah.
Well, I guess he needed the help going forward to episode 5.
Yeah. One thing when I was watching episode 4, there's something I noticed that whenever SM-33 starts to talk about his captain, the camera cuts to Jod. And I don't know why. Well, I don't know if
Jod Banana would.
Yeah, I don't know if they're telling us that Jod is the captain, which I wouldn't be surprised, or it's just a coincidence. But just take a look. If you ever go back and look at the episode, let me know what you think. If you've seen the episode, leave a comment.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure the captain he's talking about is Captain Silvo. And in episode 5, that's what they called Jod by. So
right. So,
I mean, I feel like it's the same thing that happened in Kenobi, if you remember that.
Tell me.
So you know that Reva flashback for the first episode?
Yes.
Except the show didn't tell us it was Reva, we were just waiting for them to catch up and
we knew
acknowledge
who
it was.
Yeah.
The funny part is both of those reveals happened in episode 5. So.
Okay. I see what you're saying. Go back and take a look. And I think it was episode 3 and episode 4. Anytime SM talks about his former captain, the camera cuts to Jod. All right. So let's just leave it at that. So that's the end of episode 4. Neel passes out. So he did a very brave thing. He saved his friends, and Jod saved him. So cool for Neel. All right. Neel is all right. So episode 4, let me go back and just let you know his title is Can't Say I Remember No Attin, written by Christopher Ford and John Watts, directed by Daniel Kwan, Daniel Scheinert. All right. So let's move on to episode 5. So this is called You Have a Lot to Learn About Pirates, written by Myung-Jung Wesner, directed by Jake Schreier. Okay. This was a great episode. This, to me, is the best episode of the season so far. So terrific blend of action and humor, excitement. That's exactly what we want out of Star Wars. You know what I mean? So let's get into this. So we start off again with the parents. Now the parents, they're sneaking around. So we see Wendell sitting at a cubicle, very similar to the cubicle Cyril sat at in Andor.
Nice.
Like the cog in the wheel that you talked about. I don't know what it is that he does at the computer, but apparently they're trying to access a code to break into or to open up the barrier. Is that right?
I think they're trying to send a broadcast.
They're trying to send a message, but they need to access the barrier so they can open it up so they can send a message.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
But he's caught by a security guard
because he's bad at his job. This grown man can't hide something behind his back. Does he not have back pockets? He couldn't just put it in his back pocket.
Well, it made for a funny moment. I thought it was hilarious, when he's like, "Could you put your hand up?" Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, can you put the other hand up? There you go. Well, can you put both hands up at the same time? I thought that was funny. That was a funny moment. So now he's in the supervisor, the undersecretary.
Embarrassing.
Is that her title again?
Yeah, undersecretary.
The undersecretary. He's in her office, and of course, she's in on the whole thing. So
she just shuts the droid down.
Right. She erases.
She's like, "Are you dumb? We told you to wait."
Exactly. So just backtracking. These are the parents whose kids are gone. They've left the galaxy. They're they don't know where to find them, but they're scared and they're desperate parents. All right. So they're trying to figure out how they can get a message out to the kids without exposing, who they are or where they're coming from. They don't want people to know the location of At Attin. So they got a plan. We don't know what it is yet, but something's going on. So now let's get back to Jod and the kids. And, now they're heading to, a new place. But let's talk about what this place is. So, so we know a little bit more about the captain that SM-33 talks about, Captain Tack Renaud. All right. Okay, so this is a former pirate looking for treasure on At Attin. He apparently disappeared. He has the At Attin, this Renaud has the At Attin coordinates hidden in his lair deep beneath the Skull Ridge Mountain. Okay, all right. So, of course, what they do is they go to Skull Ridge Mountain to see if they can find the coordinates. All right. There was a very interesting conversation between Jod and Wynn. All right. And we've heard it before, if you know Jedi and Star Wars, they'll tell you the same thing. Wynn is missing his family. Okay. He's missing his dad. And, Jod gives him, I don't think it's great advice, but, that's the advice.
The greatest guy.
It's typical of a Jedi to give this kind of advice because you've heard it before. And he
says,
just forget about your attachments. Now,
forget your dad. Forget your home planet.
It's not it's not the same thing, John. So, when the Jedi tell you to forget about your attachments, the idea is that they take these kids at a very young age so that there is very little of an attachment when they're at such a very young age.
Yeah, because they don't know their family.
Right, yeah. So, they...
Kind of a cruel practice, if you ask me.
Yeah, I know. We talked about it. It's controversial, but you're not going to ask like a 10 or 11-year-old to just forget about his dad, forget about the last 10 years of your life and just keep going. But anyway, so he tells Wynn to, your focus determines your reality. We heard that's something that we heard from Qui-Gon. Make your life the one you want to be, which is very interesting. And then, to me, Jod is it's just a
very
Jedi.
Bad advice.
Yeah, it's just a Jedi story that he heard. So
it's really just yapping.
Yeah. So let's go to Q&A. Let's see who else we have. All right. So we have April. Thank you so much, April Fresh. Thank you. Quinn is my favorite. Quinn.
Qui-Gon.
Oh, Qui-Gon. Okay, Qui-Gon. Yes, Qui-Gon. Yes. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Qui-Gon. Yeah, he's pretty cool. She's trying to remember who Quinn was. Yeah. Yeah, so Qui-Gon. Yeah. Your focus determines your reality.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we're getting a little bit more about Jod that maybe he could have been a Padawan at some point. We don't know, but we'll see. I think it's all a game anyway.
Yeah, he's honestly just yapping.
Yeah, so
I don't think he's saying anything he actually knows. I don't know about the whole force sensitivity thing, because a lot of people are force sensitive and aren't Jedi. So
Mm-hmm. 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 Yeah. You're right. You're right. You have to be trained. But I don't know. Let's move on to this is the best part of the episode here. So they're heading to a planet, all right? Now, from what SM-33 remembers of this planet, it's very dangerous. It's, it's murderous, it's scarred. Don't go there. That's the planet you want to avoid. Well, apparently this planet is now turned into a resort, which is so so we're going to a planet called Lanupa, but SM knows the planet as the Demon's Rest or Battle World. But now it's Lanupa. Okay, so apparently it's an all guest resort hotel. It has a beautiful landscape.
only adults.
When they landed the ship, it reminded me of Cloud City. When the Falcon landed on Cloud City, very cool. I love the art direction here. Now, of course, since this is an adult resort, they had to dress the kids up as adults.
Yeah, they called them the Wise Elders.
The Wise Elders, so they're coming down the stairs. They look more like Jawas to me, with the hood on and everything else. But it was pretty funny. So they get to the resort, and apparently it's on high alert, as they're told when they get to the front desk, because the banking clan is coming to visit. And you reminded me who the banking clan was. They're from the Clone Wars. Mm-hmm. Okay, you're not going to say anything else? Because this might tie into
kind of put me on the spot here.
Oh, well, you said you knew who the banking clan was.
Well, yeah, but they're those ugly guys from the Clone Wars. With the long heads.
Yes, okay, all right. So the banking clan, okay. So I thought maybe they might play into this, but, they're just evil people. Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I don't think they'll be relevant. I didn't even know they were still established after the fall of the Republic and the rise of the Empire, and then the fall of that, so...
That's true, right? Yeah, apparently they remained in business. All right. So anyway, so it turns so the kids get to the front desk and they meet a person and
named Pocket.
Yes, Pocket, a bounty hunter named Pocket. Okay.
Oh my God! Imagine your name being Pocket in real life.
She was very interesting because she has some tea to spill about Jod. She knows about Jod. So actor is Kelly McDonald. Her name is Pocket. So she refers to him as Dash Zenton. All right. So that's another alias. So we got Dash Zenton, Captain Silvo, Crimson Jack, Jodwick Zank. That's Zod. Apparently it's not Nawood. It's also Jodwick Zank.
He's a liar.
Yes, he's got a lot of names. Okay, so
I doubt they're all his name.
Right. So she realizes that, okay, well, there's no such person named Dash Zenton. So he has something to hide. And she warns the kids, and she knows that they're kids because,
they're not doing a great job hiding.
The kids are not, they're not the kids. Anyway, so he's a fraud. And she's
fraud, a phony, a charlatan, a quack, a cheat, a liar.
So she warns the kids, stay away from this guy. All right. So,
but of course they don't listen.
Now, okay. And so now they have to split up. So they're trying to find the lair, and they actually end up together. There's this creature there called Thalops, Cephalops, I think is how it's pronounced, who helped them find the passageway to the lair. All right, so they get there, and of course it's booby trapped. It takes you back to Indiana Jones or maybe the Goonies. But then they realize in order to get to the other side, so there's this ocean or this body of water. What they thought was water is actually acid, right?
Yeah.
So they had to figure out, okay, well, so the lair. What is the greatest sacrifice that this captain would have made?
Money.
Right. Yeah. It's not a life, but it's actually treasure. So
they threw a credit into this acid pool.
Correct. They threw a credit.
Don't ask me how that works.
They threw a credit into the pool. The pool dissipated. The acid dissipated, and they were able to walk across.
I still wouldn't have walked over that, though. There's probably still acid on that, so I don't know why the bottom of their shoes didn't just give out.
Yeah, well, right. That's right. That's true. That it still would have burned, but they will. Hey, look, they got away with it in Indiana Jones. It was great. So here we are. Um, any Q and A? So we have any Q and A?
No.
All right. So, okay. Yep. All right.
Feel
Let me
free
know
to
if you
leave
have
some
any.
Q&A.
Yes. Let me know.
Say something.
Okay. All right. Yeah. If you have any comments about the episodes, we're talking about episode 4 and 5. Let us know. All right. So then we'll keep talking. All right. So then, um, so they get to the lair, and Wim finds a lightsaber.
Yeah.
Among other things, like it's like they go into this
It's
huge
like a bunch of gold
office.
and
It's like
gems
it's
and
filled
stuff.
with all kinds of treasures.
Just whatever you need in life.
This captain might have collected things over the years and just gathered them all in this
He's a
this
hoarder.
place. Yeah. So apparently one of the treasures is this lightsaber, and so now there's a captain's log, right? So they turn on this uh, what do you call it? One of these hologram messages from the captain, and for some reason we could not see the captain's face. All right, which again is another mystery. Why are they hiding who this captain is? Captain
Because
Renard.
it's John.
I think it is. I look. I think
It'd be really odd to do all this hiding of this
Yeah.
man's face and then turn out for it not to be John and for it to just be a red herring.
Exactly right. So if it's someone that we've never met, why hide their face? You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Yeah. So I'm thinking that this Jod is behind all of this. All these stories that he's told about Captain Renard doesn't exist because he's the captain. All right. He is the one in this hologram where you can't see his face. I think he's just planning this whole thing from the very beginning. He's setting these kids up. All right. Let me tell you, he's setting them up. That's what I think. All right. So now the voice mentions about all hands to seize the treasure. This is on At Attin. No one know. Oh boy, what did I write here? So it is the last old. So At Attin apparently has the last Old Republic mint. Okay. It's the last one is located on At Attin.
Yeah, and the mint is where they make money, kids.
Yeah. So no one knows it's there until now. Okay. So now Jaw's got dollar signs in his faces. Now what am I going to do now?
Mhm.
So,
And he's like, hey, I'm going to get rid of these children.
yeah.
So naturally, the first thing he does is challenge Fern and hold a knife to her and say, you better yield. Just say you yield.
Yeah. So imagine this. Now talk about stakes. Here's this
Nice job,
Here's this adult, threatening a child with a knife to her throat,
jerk.
and
I
tells
hope he falls in a pit of lava.
and tells her, I'm challenging you to to be the leader of this team. I want you to yield your leadership to me.
Yeah. And of
I'm the
course,
captain now.
SM33 sits there and does nothing.
Right. Well, he can't because he needs to know. Okay. Well, this is a duel. It's fair.
It's really not. That's a child.
Well, you're right, and that was Fern's point. Like, you can't do this to us. You're an adult. We're kids. Why are you treating us this way? But once again, he's a mean dude,
And that's why SM33's got to go too.
Yeah. So of course she yields, and
Yeah,
so,
of course, Wim fails yet again.
Yeah.
This poor kid.
this-
It's just the list is getting longer.
I love what he did because it's so in character. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the boy, he thinks in his moment, he pulls out a lightsaber and he's like, I am a Jedi like my father before me. Ignites it backwards, hits the ground, drops the lightsaber, and then runs back.
Yeah. It was awesome. That was a win move. Okay. So, and of course, it would have been corny if he were to just start wielding a lightsaber. He's never picked up a real lightsaber in his life. So they did the right thing. That was the exact reaction that should have happened. He got scared. He ran off.
Nice.
He threw down. Well, the lightsaber just fell out of his hand.
Bounced out of his hand.
Yeah, and he just ran off. So now the kids are scared. They're kneeling on the ground, and then now Jod is now the captain, and he tells SM33, "Okay, we'll take these kids, put them in prison.
Yeah.
Charge them with mutiny."
And Wim got them out of the situation the same way he got them into it, by pushing buttons.
He pushed the button, but this time he might have pushed the right button.
Finally.
Because what happens is he opens a trap door in the floor and they're gone.
Only took him like 12 years to push a button that actually helped.
So Wim finally pushed the right button. So now the kids have disappeared. And the coolest moment is when Jod looks at that lightsaber and he uses the force to pick it up, holds it in his hand, and ignites it.
I don't know what he's going to do with that.
Ooh-wee. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. So now this is interesting because before I saw this scene, I'm thinking he's not a Jedi. He has no training. And it could be that he doesn't have a lot of training, but apparently he has enough training to pick up the lightsaber with the force and ignite it. So
what a talented child.
Yeah. So he knows a little something.
He is kind of a child, though. He does act really childish. Yeah.
No, he doesn't act like a child. He acts like an adult, who likes to push
like a childish adult.
Around.
Because bullying little children,
yes, exactly.
when you're bigger than them, is a really childish thing to do, especially when you take their trust and break it like that. So now you're going to have a bunch of kids who pay more for therapy than you could ever earn in your entire pirating career.
That is exactly right.
Nice job, buddy. You just tricked a bunch of children out of their lives. Do you feel good about yourself?
He is a bully. That's exactly right. He is a big bully. But again, that's what he's after. All right. He's after treasure. So he doesn't care that much about these kids, at least for now. So, anything can happen, but he went too far, in my opinion. And if he turns good, he's better do it for a very good reason, or he should just be bad and these kids would just get their revenge on him.
Yeah, honestly, he's too far gone. Yeah. Because holding a knife to a child and trying to take her life that's irredeemable. Yeah. I don't think. Then again, Kylo Ren did murder multiple children. He kind of turned to the light side, but it was off screen, so it doesn't count.
Q&A. Let's see what we have. So we have April. Thank you. Wim turning in the lightsaber on upside down was like the best subversion of expectations ever. It was wonderful. It was great. Oh man, it was exactly what Wim should have done, would have done. So yes, it was the best part of a good episode. I agree. Thank you, Alfie. Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you. Yeah, this was again, this episode had everything that Star Wars is about. It had the action, it had the excitement, it had suspense, comedy. I am more invested in this show now than I've ever been. I am still looking to find out. Okay, we still need to know who is the supervisor.
Palpatine's
what exactly
somehow Palpatine returned.
Yeah, what exactly is on At Attin? What type of treasure? What side is Jod on? Is Jod actually all those people that he's named, all these aliases? Is he one and the same? So he's a pirate. You know what I mean? So that's what pirates are after. So I do not trust him. But again, he might get his
comeuppance.
He might get his comeuppance. So I am looking forward to Tuesday, New Year's Eve. We're gonna watch episode number 6. All right, and then we'll have it for you the week after that. So we'll be well into the new year. Now, this Sunday, actually, we will be back on Sunday. And we're gonna look ahead to 2025. We went back and looked at all the stuff, the nerdy stuff that's coming out in 2025 is mind-blowing. It's amazing.
Yeah, but mostly on the Marvel side. Star Wars is literally
Marvel. Yes, Marvel is the king.
Yeah, Marvel is really compensating for Star Wars lacking this year.
Marvel is the king of nerdom. So they got a lot planned for us for 2025. And
eating good.
And people now are talking about Superman. So, we'll talk about that next Sunday. Okay, so
they better do Superman right. Now that you think about it, let's have a little chat about Superman real quick.
Okay.
Specifically the Batman part. Do you think they're gonna add Robert Pattinson's Batman into the DCU, or do you think they're just gonna have 2 Batmen running around again?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I do not want Batman and Superman in the same movie ever again.
Well, no, I don't mean like in the Superman movie. I mean
Oh,
like
you
in the
just mean
DCU as a
in
whole.
the universe.
Do you
Okay.
think they're gonna bring his Batman in?
I think they will, because why wouldn't they? Right now they have a Batman that's working
Yeah.
in film. All right. It's not a part of the DCU officially, but that Batman was a hit. The Penguin, the TV series, was a hit. All right. So it just makes sense to bring them all together in this DC universe. So yes, I do think they should be in the same universe.
Because then they have the same problem. They have all the Arrowverse running. Because then you have like 2 Flashes and 2 Supermen and a bunch of other characters running around in a bunch of different universes. It's going to be a problem.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
We'll say that.
Okay.
And thankfully, for what I saw in the trailer, it looks very promising. Because what is happening? So while I have nothing against the Henry Cavill Superman, no, just no. Like, leave. No. I don't know what they were doing. He shouldn't be a murderer, for one thing. That's just not something Superman does.
Yeah.
Like, they made Superman more like Batman and Batman more like a hitman.
Okay. Yeah, I'm excited for Superman. So we'll talk more about it this Sunday. But I got a lot to say about it. We're not going to talk too much about it because we got a lot to cover. But that's one of the things that is, the highly anticipated movie of next year. So
yeah, and I'm excited to announce that we're going to start talking about DC.
It looks like we might be finally coming into DC. So this is going.
Better not fail, James Gunn.
This is all right.
Also, I'd really like to interview you. So if you're watching this, please.
Wow. Let's see. Can we get?
You know how cool that would be?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
He's like the Kevin Feige of DC.
Yeah. So, okay, all right. So this was great. So we are glad to be back. Thank you so much. We hope you will continue to have a great holiday, and we will see you again on Sunday. Until then, Keith, where can people find us?
You can find us wherever you get your podcast. Socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at FatherlessGalaxy. Website, FatherlessGalaxy.com. Please check out our merch store, FatherlessGalaxy.myspreadshop.com. Patreon page, patreon.com/FatherlessGalaxy. And our website, FatherlessGalaxy.com. I feel like I already said some of those things.
That's fine. And thank you to our patrons, Broaxium and Mary B. Thank you once again. Thank you so much. We are enjoying Skeleton Crew. We hope you will continue to, discuss it with us. Until next time, take care. And we will see you again.